This is the Bourrasque Challenge. This is a 10-day event where you can win a Tier 8 French Premium Medium Tank, which is also an autoloader. We're going to go through all of the stages, and we're going to look at how much EXP you need to complete each stage and what the prizes are. So this is for base EXP, you have to be among the top 10 players, and it has to be tier 6 through 10. So for stage 1, it's 2,000, and then 5,000 for the next stage, and then 8,000 for the next stage, and then 17,000. You should be able to get up to stage 4 with a moderate day of playing. Stage 5 is 28,000. Stage 6 is 30,000, and then 30,000, and then 35,000, and then 40,000, and then 50,000. So you should be able to get to stage 4 within a few hours of playing. Stage 5, 6, 7, and 8 is going to bring you up to around 5 days of playing if you put in, let's say, a couple of hours of gameplay. And then you should probably spend 2 days on stage 9 and 2 to 3 days on stage 10. You can definitely complete it within 10 days. I usually complete the entire event within 8 to 10 days, and sometimes I only play up to the 9th stage and take the 90% discount. So we're going to look at the mastery missions, which means you have to play them in tier 10 vehicles. The first couple mastery missions you should be able to complete in one game. The first one is 2,800 HP of damage and be in the top 3 on your team by damage. Keep in mind that also includes if you're in a losing game, you can still complete this mission. So you can complete the first mission in one game, no problem. The next one is 800 points of base experience 2 times. I would definitely go for this in a tier 10. You're probably going to have to win the game in order to get that base experience. The next one is 4,300 HP of damage in a tier 10 vehicle. If you play the right vehicle, like an FV215B 183, you can do this in 3 or 4 shots. So it can be pulled off, and it could give you a big jump. I highly advise you to look at your service record for tier 10 and look at the vehicle you do the most damage on, and you probably want to fire premium rounds if you're not used to doing high amounts of damage. Stage 4. Finish the battle as a top player on your team by experience earned 5 times, which means that you can do this in a losing game. I would do this spotting with a light tank, or do whatever vehicle in tier 10, look at your service record that you have the highest base EXP with. Remember, the personal reserves are not going to count, and the 2 times victories, none of that is going to count. Stage 5, cause 4,300 hit points of damage 7 times. You really got to be on your A game to do this. You got to use your best damage vehicle. I would definitely, again, use an FV215B 183 or a Foch or something like that. Earn 850 points of base experience 15 times, tier 10. Probably going to have to be winning games. You're probably going to have to get 15 wins, and you're going to have to be one of the top 1 or 2 players on your team by base experience 15 times. It's going to be really tough. If you take the 30,000 and divide it by 15, that's 2,000. So if you divide that by another 3, that's like 30 games, no more than 30 games. Let's say it's 40 games, and they have to be wins. So if you can pull it off 15 times, that could be a really good advantage. The next one is 3,000 hit points of damage 10 times. You should be able to pull this off in a lot of tier 10 vehicles. And you have to be the top player on both teams by damage caused 10 times. That makes it a lot more difficult. The next one is 45 HP of damage 10 times. Again, as before, use the vehicle that you get the highest amount of damage with. Tier 9, Stage 9, finish as a top player on your team by EXP 20 times. So that's also going to be difficult again, use your service record as I explained before, and you have to do it with a Tier 10 vehicle. And for Stage 10, finish the battle. Top player on your team by damage caused 35 times in a Tier 10 vehicle. So I am going to go through all the prizes. You get 10% per stage. For Stage 1, you get consumables. Stage 2, you get a couple of personal reserves plus 6 cents directives. Stage 3, you get 100,000 credits, personal reserves, and optical calibration. Stage 4, premium account, vertical stabilizer, which you're going to be able to use on this vehicle, plus some directives for vertical stabilizer. 200,000 credits, 10 times free experience personal reserves, and 6 cents directives. Stage 6, you get 300,000 credits, personal reserves for crew, 10 quantity, plus 15 optical calibration directives. Stage 7, you get a premium day, coded optics, and 15 coded optics directives. Stage 8, you get 500,000 credits, 10 times credits personal reserves, and 20 times 6 cents directives. For Stage 9, you get a premium day plus vents plus 20 vent directives. And for Stage 10, you get the garage slot, the premium vehicle, 3 0 skill BIA crew members. You get a special 3D style, which may only work on this vehicle, and you get a inscription for Bourrasque. This is the vehicle, as you can see right here. These are the 3 crew members, a commander, gunner, driver. The penetration is it's actually very low. It's one of the lowest for Tier 8. And with the premium rounds, you're a little bit above average for regular round penetration. So with premium rounds, you're just getting a somewhat average penetration. And the HE round penetration is typical for Tier 8 vehicles. The aiming time is poor at 3.5. Dispersion is 0.42, which is not very good. The DPM is 1800, which is nothing special. You get 2 shells in the magazine with 2 seconds loading between shots, which is actually very good. So for completing all stages, you get the vertical stabilizer, coded optics, vents, consumables, 3 days of premium, plus a lot of loot, 1.1 million in credits, a lot of personal reserves, about 30 to 40 personal reserves, around 100 directives, the inscriptions, and the 3D style. The purchase price is probably going to be around $80 US. So you're going to want to get as many percentages off as you want, as you can. You might be able to get up to 90% off and purchase it for a low price of around $8. Okay, so that's the vehicle. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.